Up until now, we've seen exactly how quickly you can iterate on your ideas and bring new ideas to life. It's important to note that your output is only as good as the prompts that you give it. So deciding on the right prompts is a very crucial skill when it comes to prompt-driven development. This section is all about some of the best prompting techniques that you can use to make sure you get the most out of your Bolt agent. Our first point of advice is to be very specific in what you're asking for. Now, LLMs thrive on the context that you give them. It's much better to give them more context about the problem that you're trying to solve than less. So be as specific as you can. We can think of the agent as a genie granting us a wish. If we ask, make us taller, it may make us 100 feet taller, which is way too tall. So instead, say, make me 4 inches taller. Let's apply this same logic to the agent here inside Bolt. Here we can use the select tool and then describe the changes we want. This element is the main priority of the screen. Please add an emphasis to it with visual distinction from the other dashboard cards. And here's the first iteration of that component. If we want to remove that line, rather than stating that, let's be a little bit more specific. I'll select the element that it's on the border of and say, please remove the right-hand border of this element. And there we go. The monthly spend component is much better. If there's a complex issue that we can't quite figure out, we can always ask it to add console logs. For example, please add console logs to the add subscription process found on the subscription page. To reveal the console log, simply right-click the preview, go down to Inspect, and then select this Console tab. Here we can see all of the errors and warnings that the browser has discovered. We could screenshot these. However, if we copy the text, it's a little bit more token efficient. On the subscriptions page, let's add a subscription. We've added the subscription, and here on the right, you can see the logs that have been added. This is a great way to reveal errors, and by copying these over into the agent, it's a really great way to help the agent debug. Images can be a really powerful tool to keep our viewers engaged. Let's have a look at this case study section that I've added to the landing page. Bolt has implemented a native image editor. So if you want to edit an image, simply toggle on the select tool, click on the image, make sure we select the image layer, and you'll notice this button, Edit with AI, appears. Let's click on this, and here we can explain the modifications we want to make to this image. Instead of typing on a laptop, please replace this with a desktop computer. And in a matter of seconds, Bolt has generated a new improved image. We can use this slider to toggle between the new image and the old one. And if we're happy with it, this is where we can say, use this image or continue to modify it. And as easy as that, the new image has been added to our site. Knowing how and when to clear the context of your agent's chat history is an important skill to know when it comes to prompt-driven development. If we're adding more context than necessary into our chat history, then it's using unnecessary tokens. It can also distract the agent with irrelevant details. Due to this, we recommend clearing your chat history between each feature you implement. To clear context is very simple. In the prompt box, type /clear and enter. Now the agent's context has been cleared, and when you prompt again, it'll freshly draw in information and the relevant files that it needs to answer your request. What if you want your Bolt agent to maintain persistent knowledge about a specific topic that transcends the clear context command? Here we can use project knowledge. To open this, click on the settings and select knowledge. These are the default project instructions that gets created every time you make a new project. Notice it explains to the agent how it would like to design, it mentions syntax, and also icons for logos. This is a great place to mention themes that you want to consistently reference, or perhaps you're using a design system regularly. You can make reference to it here. Now, these project instructions will only apply to this specific project. We can also open global instructions, and anything you add here will be applied to every single one of your projects. Finally, there's team knowledge and package knowledge as well. Note that these all have a hierarchy. So the lowest priority is the team knowledge and package knowledge. Higher in that hierarchy comes your global instructions, which will override the team instructions if it comes to it. The highest priority, which will override everything, is your specific project instructions. Now, if you'd like to take the concept of adding project knowledge into your codebase one step further, you can implement progressive disclosure. This is the idea of creating a variety of Markdown files, which you save in your root directory, and the agent can reference these whenever it needs to, only drawing in the context of the relevant files. This may sound complicated, but in practice, it's really quite simple. Here's my prompt. Please understand the user flow from when a user signs up to when they add a subscription. Once you understand this, please create a user flows markdown file to document this process and add it to the root directory. The prompt's complete, and if we jump down into our code, you'll see that the agent has now created a user flows markdown document. Markdown documents are easily human readable and AI agent readable as well, so they're a great way to store our information. It's created a brief overview of the user flow, and as our project grows in size, it can be really handy to have these short explanations of either the user flows or the features or the plan to come, so that the agent can refer to this document instead of having to read through the entire code base. This means the agent can always refer to the relevant files when necessary, which are preserved in your Git history. This allows you to clear the context without worrying that you're losing precious information, ultimately saving tokens and keeping the agent on track with your requests. We touched on plan mode in the initial prompt, but here's a reminder that it can be a super powerful feature. This spending trends graph uses mock data at the moment. This is a good example where we can use plan mode to determine how the agent wants to implement real data that we've submitted. I've noticed that the spending trends component uses mock data. Please help me plan how to incorporate real data so that this can reflect the actual subscription use of the user. Plan mode, submit. So the agent has explored the codebase to understand the current structure and has created a comprehensive plan to replace the mock data. Let's clarify its questions, turn it off plan mode, and build. The agent successfully implemented our real subscription data. And it's always good practice to read through what the agent has output here on the left so you have an understanding of the project architecture and how it's being built. The final feature that we'll cover in this section, and it's a super powerful one, is the Bolt agent's ability to interact with the website itself. It can actively move through features and take screenshots and use this as context so that it can improve the site. Previously, if we wanted to improve how a page looked, we could manually prompt it ourselves by telling it exactly what to do. For example, act as a professional designer and improve how the landing page looked. Now, previously, it would just use the code as context for this, and it may have some awareness on how to improve the page, but it wasn't super functional. Taking this one step further, if we take a screenshot of the page and then we drop that into the chat, we're now adding more context, and it's able to assess this image as a professional visual designer, make suggestions, and then fix this in the code. Now that we've implemented the ability for the Bolt agent to actually interact with the site, it's now able to open the site itself, take screenshots, scroll down the page, and actually interact with features. This means we can add a prompt like this. I would like you to interact with the landing page and act as a professional designer, making comments on how to improve it and then acting on those comments. Now watch what happens when we send off this prompt. It's executing browser code. And if we open this, we can see exactly how it's interacted with the browser. We can see that it's scrolled down the page and it's taken these 4 screenshots. It's made comments on the strengths and the areas of improvement of this design. Now we can see it's created a review of the landing page, and here are the professional design observations. It's saying the hero section could use more social proof, the numbers lack engagement, and a variety of other suggestions. Now the agent's finished working, and let's have a look at the changes that it's made. We'll refresh the page. On the hero section, we can now see it's added the social proof it was talking about. Obviously, when you're deploying, all social proof and testimonials need to be based in real world truths. And if we keep scrolling down, here we can see it's animated all of these statistics. The hover animations of these cards look a little better, and it seems as though this component on the right with platform capabilities is scrolling with the page as well. Now, in this case, we've just used it to improve how a page looks, but this is a super powerful feature when it comes to debugging features and improving how features work.